How you doing? How you doing, brothers and sisters out there? How you doing this beautiful evening? We're about to get into the weekend. We're knocking on the door of a new weekend. How you doing, Sister Kara? I see your John Hancock down there. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Come on in, brothers and sisters. Come on in. Check in. Check in. We're about to get into this show. We got some more good content tonight. Come on in because we're about to get into the weekend. And we're going to learn some things about the truth. That's what we're about to learn. Some things about what is called the truth. Everybody said they want to know about the truth. Everyone's saying that they want to someone to be truthful with them. But is that really true? Can you handle the truth? Can you really handle the truth? We about to jump into it. Can you really handle the truth? How you doing, Sister Deborah Scott? How you doing? How you doing? Come on in. Come on in, brothers. Come on in, sisters. We got a few more seconds. I see you. We're going to jump into this broadcast tonight. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Yes. Come on in. Come on in. How you doing, brothers? How you doing, sisters out there? I hope that you all had a very, very good and productive day. Me, myself, I had a very productive day. As a matter of fact, I'm in a state of feeling excellent, blessed with a twist of serenity. It's all good. I look at life as the glass is always half full. It never half empty to me. That's my mindset. And the reason I believe in that because I believe in the Most High. That's why I believe what I believe. Now, for those of you that this might be your first broadcast, my name is Tony M. Toomer, and I'm about relationships. I talk about relationship between that of a man and a woman. From a biblical perspective. You know, when you go back to the book of Genesis and have a breakdown of the origin of the relationship. First, God had a unique relationship with the man, Adam. And then he had a unique relationship with the woman, Eve. He had a unique relationship with both of them separately. Then he represented the woman to the man. And in the presence of God, Adam said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. I should call her woman because she came from man. That's the position I come from. I want to be very clear now. If you don't believe in the chronicle of the relationship between a man and a woman, you have what is called a free will. You can believe whatever you choose to believe, but my position, I believe in it from a biblical standpoint. So when I talk, I basically talk about men and women. But I do want to encourage you, if you don't believe in it, just sit back and enjoy and try to enjoy the content. Maybe you can learn something from it. With that said, we're about to get into tonight's broadcast. And my brothers and sisters, the topic for tonight is, do women really want the truth? Again, do women really want the truth? My sisters out there, tell me this. Do you really want 100% of the truth? I'm curious. Do you really desire 100% of the truth? If you desire 100% of the truth when it comes to a man, go ahead and raise your hand so we can get into this broadcast call. I'm very interested to know who want to know 100% when you're in a relationship with a man. This is going to be an interesting topic tonight. And by the way, brothers, do you think you could take 100% truth from a woman? But my question to you, brother, is secondary. But right now, I want to know from the sisters, since the topic basically addressed the sisters, do women really want the truth? That's where we're at. Do women really want the truth? Now, let's define what truth is, okay? We're going to define what truth is. According to the dictionary, truth is defined as that which is true or in accordance with facts or reality. Okay? That's what truth is. Truth is defined as that which is true or in accordance with facts or reality. So if that's the case when it said truth is according with facts or reality, sister, do you really want to know 100% of the facts in a relationship when it comes to that man that you're in a relationship with? Do you really, really want the reality of that man? Or would you prefer that he keeps certain things from you? Now, you can't straddle the fence, because there are some sisters that will say, I want 100% the truth. That's what most sisters would say. When I say sisters, I'm not only talking about black women, and when I say brothers, I'm not only talking about black men. I got brothers of other races, and I got sisters of other races. So don't just think I'm just talking about the black community. I got brothers and sisters of every race that's under the sun, because Jesus died for everyone. So I put it to you, sisters, again, and brothers too. Do you really want the truth? Women, sisters, do you want the truth? That was a movie out a while back, and the movie featured Jack Nicholson and Tom Cruise. And it was like a military movie. So Jack Nicholson, he was on the witness stand, and Tom Cruise, he was like the prosecutor, and they would talk about certain things that were going on in the military, right? And Jack Nicholson, he burst out and told Tom Cruise, he said, you can't handle the truth. And this a man-to-man saying you can't handle the truth. So when it comes to the truth, my brothers and sisters, the truth can be ugly. Can you take the maximal level of the truth? I'm talking about 100%. Now, well, we all basically agree. That's you brothers and you sisters. We will all basically agree that men are more analytical and women are more emotional. Would you all agree with that concept? Do you really believe that men are more analytical and women are more emotional? Now, analytical means, and it is defined as related to using analysis or logical thinking or reasoning. Or to say it differently, you men are good at taking a problem or task. Most men, you're good at taking a problem or task and breaking it down to the smaller elements in order to solve the problem or to complete a task. Now, being emotional or emotional is defined as relating to a person's emotion, women. Or to say it differently, having feeling that easily to excite and open display. Now, sisters, let me first give you two things about what's going on the inside of you. You have, and all men have, you have two levels of the mind. You have what is called the conscious mind, and you have the subconscious mind. Now, the conscious means that you are aware of and you respond to one's surrounding. That's what the conscious is. You are aware and you are aware of your surrounding. Whereas the subconscious mind means that it concerned with the part of the mind which one is not fully aware of at that particular time, but it influences one's actions and feelings. Now, the part of the mind that you notice and remember information with, that is the subconscious, okay? And you are actually trying to retain all the things that you remember on a conscious level. Now, some of you saying, Tony, what does the conscious and what does the subconscious have to do with the topic? Do women really want the truth? I'm about to get to it. For example, let me briefly talk about a computer. You all familiar with the computer, right? Let's look at the computer as the conscious and the subconscious. The conscious part is like when you be typing into the computer and whatever you see, that's the conscious, that's on top, right? Whatever you put into that computer, even if you want to delete it, it's not gone. I want you to understand that, my brother and sister. Whatever you put into the computer, whatever you type and you delete it, it's not gone. You might think that it's gone, but it's not gone. It is stored on what is called the hard drive. Okay, it's stored on the hard drive. And that's how the mind is, my brother and sister. It's the conscious represents the top part of the computer, what you could type and you could do everything, send emails or whatever. But everything is stored on the hard drive, okay? That's just like if someone commit a crime, the police, they will probably, the police, they will probably bring some type of paper to your house and they want your computer. It's not about your screen. They don't care about your screen. They don't care about your keyboard. They want the head part of your computer. They want the what store all the information, because they know that's where everything at. And that's where it comes to the mind, my sisters. And why do I say this? You see, sister, basically, it appears like on a conscious level. Okay, I gave you the example of the computer. How you doing, Sister Vilma? Now, it seems more like on a conscious level, sister. For those of you that coming in to tonight's topic, do women really want the truth? Now, on a conscious level, sisters, we would like to agree that you all love romance, right? You love romance. In general, you love romance. When you were smaller, you used to like the Disney stuff. What do I mean by the Disney stuff? I'm talking about things like Black Beauty. We could talk about Rapunzel. We could talk about Snow White. We could talk about Cinderella. And right now, since you're not no little girl anymore, we talking about the Lifetime stuff and all that stuff that come on TV, romance, okay? Now, why am I talking about that and I'm using this on a subconscious level? Because let me tell you this, sister, whether you realize it or not, majority of the things that you was exposed to when you were younger about the relationship between a man and a woman, it is stored in your subconscious. And it has an effect. It have an effect on you, whether you realize it or not, when it comes to dealing with a man. It really does. You don't realize it because you're operating on that conscious level. But remember, the subconscious, it saves everything. So why am I saying this? Because I'm trying to get you to understand something. We're talking about truth. So, sister, when you got in your mind what's stored from your childhood, the Disney thing, when you looking at romantic novels, when you looking at things on TV, that a program that can last from an hour to 2 hours, when it comes to relationships and everything, what I'm actually saying, sisters, what you actually have been seeing, it been stored on your subconscious mind, and sometimes it could get in your way of reality of a relationship. It really can get called, that is not real. That stuff like the Disney stuff and the Lifetime stuff and everything, that's not real. That's not real life, but it's embedded in your mind. So sometimes you think that that's how a man's supposed to be in a relationship. Velma said, we all didn't experience anything. No, you probably have not. But let's look at, let's say, the romantic novels, and let's say like the Lifetime stuff. All of this has something to do with romance. Nothing wrong with romance. It's nothing wrong with romance, but I'm talking about from a conscious and a subconscious mind when it comes to the truth. Because some women truth is based on what's stored on their subconscious mind, and it flickers to the conscious mind. And then when you have a man, a real live human being in front of you, sometimes you're thinking that, why does that man don't treat me like, or do the thing like I seen on TV, or what I have read about, or some of the music that you listen to. Some of the music that you listen to, it ain't nothing wrong with some of the music that you're listening to, but some music that you're listening to, a lot of it is not reality. And that could be stored in your mind. It's not reality. The reality is when you're in a relationship with a man, you got to take that man for who he really is. All that other stuff, that's not really who he is. That's not really who he is. Now, most men are like the Matrix. If y'all ever seen that movie called The Matrix, that was this character called Neo. Okay, that was this character called Neo, and this character Neo, he had to make a decision. There was 2 pills that he had to make a choice of eating or swallowing. There was the blue pill, and that was the red pill. Now we're getting from the emotional part of the woman. Now we're going to the man, and we're coming back. Now when it comes to the truth in men, it's just like the Matrix. A man in this lifetime, he has to theoretically take what is called the red pill or the blue pill, and I'm going to break that down for you. Now the blue pill is kind of like a lie. It's kind of like a lie, because when men are being brought up from young boys up, it's put on men, you got to do this. This is real. You cannot slip up. You cannot make no mistake, because most of the things are going to be on you. So you can't slip up as being a man. You got to see things for how they really are. You can't fool yourself, even though you can be fooled, but you have to be a man. Now, when it comes to the theory, I'm using the blue pill and the red pill and the Matrix thing. Now, the blue pill on the movie, Neo, he had a choice. Take the blue pill or the red pill. Let me break it down what the blue pill meant. The blue pill, it represented a lie. But you have to live within that lie and accept things how you see it in the world. Because in reality, there's a lot of lies that going on that we are exposed to from the media and all kind of stuff. That's not the reality, especially when it comes to relationship. Now, when it comes to the red pill means that you are unplugged and you want to accept the truth of what it really is, whether it's going to be hurtful or bad. However, there are some exceptions when it comes to the truth. Let me give you a good example when a man fell for the blue pill. We're talking about Samson. You are familiar with the Samson and Delilah story, right? Remember when I said earlier I was talking about the truth, right? Samson had the truth right in front of him. He was analytical, but he had the truth in front of him. Samson knew what Delilah was doing to him. He knew to the point that Delilah was lying to him because he put her through different tests. See, he started off with the red pill. He started off with reality. He knew what Delilah was about. But he decided to take the blue pill. And that's how Samson was got, by taking the theoretical blue pill. And that was his ultimate fall. Now, sisters, you don't really want a man to show his emotion. There are a lot of you sisters, you say that you want a man to really show you all of his emotions, right? Do you really want a man to really show you 100% of his emotion? Do you really? Are you really saying that you want a man that analytical to open up 100% and show you his true emotions? Do you? If a man, let me tell you this, Sister Velma said, yeah, let me tell you this. If a man really opened up 100% and showed you his true emotion without lying to you, check that out. Eventually, most women, if a man showed her a lot of his emotions, sometimes, not all the time, listen to me clearly, not all the time, but sometimes if a man be too emotional, a woman would look at that man as if he's weak. Tell me this, sister, if a man were really burned down, how would you feel? Notice I said not think, but how would you feel if you had a man in front of you and he was very, very emotional and he wept a lot. He cried a lot. You wouldn't want it. You would not want to see a man crying a lot. You won't want it. Because you see, in your mind, you were saying that this man's supposed to be strong. And you'll probably say, well, he a man, he cried more than me. And that's what a lot of men know. Men can be emotional, but they suppress their emotions in front of you, sisters. Because society say, be a man, take it, don't cry. That's what society tell men. Be a man, take it, and don't cry. Society give you, sister, they'll let you all cry all day, every day. But society do not want a man to show his total truth. I'm talking about society as it is right now. Society don't want a man that's very vulnerable. How you doing, Sister Jan? If a man cry all the time, you're going to take him as he weak, sister. There's no doubt about it. Because you're going to get your mind, this man, he cry more than me. And the reason why you're probably going to start thinking that way, because you're going to be thinking, I'm not his mama. I'm supposed to be his woman. If he's going to go around here crying all the time, he needs to go. That's a mama's job. That's what you'll start eventually thinking. That's a mama's job, and I'm not his mama. There's this situation that I know. This guy, he was hurting. He was hurting so much from something that happened in his life. And for a little while, the woman that he was with, at first she understood that he was hurting, so she accepted him crying. But she got tired of him coming to her crying and opening up to her. She took it as a weakness, and then she even just said, I'm tired of him coming to me talking about that same stuff all the time. He's supposed to be a man. And he walk around here crying all the time, tears coming out his eyes, and he keep complaining and all that kind of stuff. That's supposed to be my role. That's what eventually will happen. That's the reality of it. You will eventually see it. And let me tell you about this, sister. Do you really, really want, I'm going to ask you again, do you really want 100% of the truth from a man? Can you really take it? You know why men don't tell women the 100% truth? Now, I'm gonna put something out there, brothers. Yes, thank you very much. Let me tell you that, brother. If your woman wants you to be 100% truthful with her, I'm not telling you to lie to her. Do not lie to her. Now, I'm putting that out there. Do not lie to the woman, brother. Don't lie to her. But it's better not to say nothing than to lie to her. If she asks you a question, because they say that they want the truth, most of them, and this just how it is, because it comes down to what's going on, the makeup of a man and a woman. And I'm going to tell you this again. The analytical part, which men are known for, most men, it is related to using analysis or logical reasoning. Or to say it differently, men are good at taking problems and tasks and breaking it down to the smaller element in order to solve the problem or complete the task. Whereas the emotional is defined as related to a person's emotion, women. Or to say it differently, having feelings that are easily excited and openly displayed. We are different. Men think and move different. Women think and move different. And that's how it is. How the makeup is. Velma, I'm not here to disagree. I mean, you shooting that stuff out there, Velma. I think you need to hold off for a little while, okay? I'm not going to debate with you on this thing. I don't know what's going on with you, Velma, but I'm not going to debate or nothing. You see, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you, Velma, and anybody else. When I come to you, I do research. I do research. I don't come to you a lot on opinions. I do research. I do in-depth research, and I talk to different people before I present stuff to you. So I want you all to understand majority of the time. When I come, my stuff be together. I do research. I just don't be talking just to be talking. I don't come to you just to be opinionated. Now, you can have an opinion if you want to. It's nothing wrong with you having an opinion. But if you want to talk about lying and all that kind of stuff, I want you to present some facts. You can't just shoot stuff out there without presenting facts. So if you disagree with something, I want to hear your position why you disagree. For example, Velma, you said, this is what you said, Velma. You said something about that's a lie, right? Okay, Velma, if you said that's a lie, I want to know your source for causing you to say that. Give me your source. I don't want your opinion. I want your source for why you said that. So if you're gonna say something, always be able to back up what you say. Don't just talk. Don't talk on an emotional level. I want you to just talk and tell me where you get your source from. If you could tell me where you get your source from, we could talk. Okay, now, Velma, you saying that we're talking about real... Velma, research and sources and stuff, data and stuff, that's based off real life. When people do surveys and all that detailed stuff, that's based off real life. You understand? It's based off real life. If you look at it from Ecclesiastes standpoint, Solomon said this in Ecclesiastes. He said that there's nothing new under the sun. That's what King Solomon said. He said there's nothing new under the sun. He's not talking about technology. He's talking about human pattern and behavior. Whatever happened yesterday, it can happen today. And if the Lord give us tomorrow, it ain't nothing new. Even, I could tell you something simple as this. When it comes to a dance, if you see young people doing a certain dance, all they doing is giving it another name. When it comes to plaits in a woman's hair, they just give it a new name. They might say braids or plaits or whatever. It's still the same. When it comes to how men and women respond to one another, there's no new experience. When it comes to relationship between the man, there's nothing new. It's new to that person that's going through that at that particular time, possibly. But if a man and a woman go through a bad relationship, there's nothing that man and woman could say that is really, really unique. It's unique to them at that particular time. But somebody have walked that road before. If a man and woman is going through a bad relationship and they talk about it, guess what? Somebody else have walked down that road before. And when they get through that storm and somebody else going to go through that same thing, that's how people are able to talk to people, especially people that have had experience in life. How you doing, Sister Jan? And how you doing, Sister Cheryl? So you got to understand this, Velma, you know, kind of understand it. You have to, there's nothing new under the sun, sister. But let me see. Okay, there's nothing new under the sun. But let me get back on to what I'm talking about. And those of you that are come in, the thing about it, do women really want the truth? Now, sister, I understand that you want the truth. I understand that clearly. The reason why some men lie to you is because they thinking about how you would take it. That's why I'm not justifying it. I'm not justifying a lie. I'm just telling you why guys lie to you. Now there's some, a lie's a lie. If there's no big lie, there ain't no little lie. There ain't no white lie, no black lie. A lie is a lie. So what I'm saying, when it comes to a man, brothers, when it comes to you, and how you doing, Sister Mary, and if your woman asks you a question, and you trying to spare her feelings, don't lie to her to spare her feelings. Don't lie to a woman to spare her feelings. You have to know your woman. But whatever you don't lie to her. If you are on the brink of lying to your woman, brother, don't say nothing at all. Don't say nothing at all. If you got to lie to her, don't say nothing at all. Come tell you this. Your woman will prefer you not saying nothing. Even though she might want you to say something, she would prefer you not telling her a lie than to hold your peace. And that's what I'm talking about, sister. If a man, and I'm going to go to the other side. Men in general try to take the hit. They try to take the hit. To tell you the truth, most men cannot accept the truth from a woman. Most men cannot accept the truth from a woman. What am I talking about? I'll give you a hypothetical. This is a hypothetical. At the beginning of the relationship, and this is just a hypothetical, and I'm telling you how to go down. If a man asks a woman at the beginning of the relationship, how many, if a woman asks a man, how many women have you slept with? More than likely, she knew the man possibly have been around. Off that one question, if a woman said, how many women have you slept with? A man might, because of the ego thing, he basically might say, I've been with a whole bunch of them. Ha, 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 ain't no big thing. Because that's what society let men, society thing, let boys would be boys, men would be men. So if a man slept with a lot of women, men get kudos, they get fire, they get hand bumps and all that kind of stuff because of how society is, okay? Now, that same question, if a man asks a woman, how many men have you slept with? If a woman was totally honest with a man, and this is just hypothetical, if a woman has slept with a whole bunch of men, and we talk about the beginning of the relationship, and she point blank say, I have slept with 20 men. It don't even have to be 20 to tell you the truth, how most men think. Because men in general, on a question like that, they want to think that woman ain't been around too much. That's what they would like to think. But I'm telling you, most men, because men, this is how men think a lot of times, sister. This is how most men think. If a man asks you how many men you slept with, whatever number you're going to give them, more than likely, they're going to multiply that by 2 or 3. So if you say, I done slept with, I done slept with 3 men. They're going to multiply that by 2. Whatever you tell them, they're going to multiply. That's the reality of it. Men, stuff like that, men don't want that. You see, I'm going to tell you. Sister, if a man asks you a question like that, that's right, Sister Jan. Man prefer no more. That's right. That's the reality. Even though a woman could probably have slept with more than 3 men don't want that. They don't want that in the conscience. Men don't want to walk around. Most men do not want to walk around, and they knowingly know that this woman been around with a whole bunch of people. I'm just telling you the fact. That's how it is. Now, a woman, she would probably walk around with a man that, quote unquote, been around with several women because of how our society operates. And we're talking about the truth. We're talking about the real truth. That's a type of truth that a man, let's talk about being married then. Let's talk about being married. On this particular topic, let's say a man and a woman married. And we're talking about the infidelity part. Now, when we talk about infidelity part, we're going at the beginning part of it. When it comes to conversating with a member of the opposite sex, if you married, no man or no woman don't want his or her spouse having intimate conversations with another person of the opposite sex, except it comes to him or her. No woman don't want her husband discussing intimate stuff and being totally open with another woman. She would prefer that her husband do all that verbal intimate stuff with her. And likewise, a man do not want his woman being open with another man verbally, opening up when she should be coming to him. That's right. Listen to what Sister Janet said. Don't share your past too soon with a man. Because if you share the 100% truth, I'm not telling you to lie. You just don't tell everything on the first day. Because that's your first impression, brothers and sisters. You're just gonna have to use your discernment. You should have wisdom, knowledge, understanding, discernment to know what to talk about at a certain time. Okay? You have to understand that when it comes to truth. In general, men and women at the beginning of time, we were created for the truth. We were created for total transparency. And to tell you the truth right now, my brother and sister, when it comes to people being married, like I'm married, when it comes to transparency, how shall I say this? I'm in progress. I put it that way. Cinderella is in progress. She not 100% transparent with me. I'm not 100% transparent with her, even though we've been together for a minute. It's a work in progress. We were not 100% transparent on day one. She didn't tell me everything. I didn't tell her anything. You understand that? It's a work in progress. The only person, and you better believe this, my brother and sister, the only person that is 100% transparent when it comes to a man and woman, it's only been one. And that's Jesus. Jesus, the only man or woman, but he's a man. He's the only one that had ever lived on earth that was total 100% transparent when he was here for 33 years. He's the only one that was totally 100% transparent. There are not one man or one woman that have been 100% transparent. And to tell you the truth, your family and my family, they see different versions of you. Nobody see all versions of you, my brother and sister. So to tell you the truth, we all have masks. We reveal certain things to certain people. Everybody don't see the same side of us. Everybody don't see. The only person that ever lived that you seen, whatever you seen, that's how he is. That was Jesus. Wherever Jesus went, he was that all the time. Jesus did not wear no mask. He's the only person that didn't go around trick-or-treating. All of us, men and women, we have worn masks, and we still wear masks. There's not one man or one woman that's living today that's 100% transparent. Not one. Not one. So you have to look at it this way. When you get in a relationship with a man or a woman, It takes time. You have to build. And I think Jan said something about that. You have to build. And while you building, there are some layers that coming out and you become more transparent. And the only way a man and a woman could be totally transparent, they got to abide in the truth. If a man and a woman abide in the truth, they could be transparent and truthful with one another. Let me tell you this. Like I said, Jesus is the only 100% truth. He's the embodiment of truth. As it is written in John 17:17, this is what Jesus said. When he was at the Last Supper, this is the scene, he was at the Last Supper. Jesus said this. Out of his own mouth, Jesus said, sanctify them by your truth. He was talking to God the Father. He said, sanctify them by your truth. Sanctify means set apart. That's what sanctification means. It says set apart. That's right, Jane. It says set apart. And then Jesus said, your word is truth. John 14:6, Jesus said to him, I am the truth. And you all familiar with this. This is what Jesus said. Now, I gave you the dictionary version of what the truth is. The dictionary say the truth is defined as that which is true or is in accordance with facts and reality. Keep those words in mind, fact and reality. Now we're going to bring it to what Jesus said about himself, okay? Jesus said, I am the way. There's no other way. Jesus said, I am the way. And not only did he say, I'm the way, Jesus proclaimed it. Jesus said, I am the truth and the life. So Jesus said, I'm the way, I'm the truth, and I'm the light. Life. No one, Jesus said this, he proclaimed this. Jesus said, no one come to the Father, that's God the Father, except through me. That's what Jesus said. You got to deal with him before you deal with God. When you pray, when you call yourself praying to God, like some of these religions and stuff, they want to bypass Jesus. They're trying to go around Jesus. You got to deal with Jesus straight up. Because Jesus said he's the way. He's the straight and narrow way. He's not the broad way. You got to deal directly with Jesus. Everybody got to deal with Jesus because he's the way. You can't there's no appeal courts when it comes to Jesus. You can't, if you disagree with something Jesus said, you can't talk to God the Father. God the Father on you is not going to even listen to you. Because everything got to get funneled through his son Jesus. John 14:17, the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because neither see him nor know him, but you know him, for he dwell with you and will be in you. Jesus talked about the Spirit of God, the Holy Spirit. Now, Jesus said the Spirit of truth. In order for a man and woman to be transparent to one another, we're talking about the truth. And Jan made a statement about peeling layers. That's how it has to be. So when the Spirit of God is in a man and a woman, if they're in a relationship, there are going to be some layers that are going to have to be pulled aside. And the more that man and woman abides in the truth, they're going to be more transparent to their mate. Not 100%. It's a work in motion. No man or no woman is going to reach 100% transparency with their mate. It's a goal that you're supposed to strive for. Because if you're able to be 100% with your mate by yourself, you are Jesus. That's right, brother. You are Jesus, or sister, you are Jesus. But neither, you're not Jesus. It's an ongoing thing. The longer you live, you're going to be pulling back layers, especially if you're in a relationship. And the only way you could reach that kind of level, you got to abide in the truth. Jesus is the truth. Jesus is the one that's going to take those chains and shackles off you so you can be up front. You know what? We admire people that, you see, this is how it is. You want to be the type of person, brother and sister, where a person either like you or they dislike you. You don't want nobody putting you in, he okay or she okay. No. You want them to put you in a category. You want them to say, I like him or I like her. I don't like her or I don't like him. And then this is what Jesus said. Check this out. The spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive. Let's stop right there. Jesus said that the world cannot receive the truth. The world is our system. The world don't want no part of truth. When you're truthful, you're not going to have many friends, my brothers and sisters. You're not going to have many friends. It's good if you have one or two. If you have that. When you be 100% truthful, you're not going to, a lot of people are not going to like you. Because one thing they will know about you, they will respect you even though they won't like you. Because if you want somebody to say, well, I don't like him or her, but at least you know where he or she stand at. You don't want nobody to scratch their head and doubt your position on nothing. When somebody look at you, my brother and sister, you want to be the embodiment of the truth where the Lord lives in you. You understand? He has to live in you. And when the Lord is living in you, the world cannot accept the truth because the world is operating up under the reign of Satan. When I said the world, I'm talking about the system. Jan said, everyone does not need to know everything about you. That's very true. You are not deserving. You are at the point in giving your power away. Amen to that. What she just said is very, very true, my brothers and sisters. Very, very true. Now, do women really want the truth? Women want the truth, but they want the truth where they won't be hurt. That's the thing about it. They want the truth. And like you brothers too, you want the truth, but you don't want to be hurt. But you see, the thing about the truth, if you really want the truth, there's a possibility that you're going to be hurt. It's just all to it. There's a possibility that you will be hurt when you get into some of those serious conversations. So my brothers and sisters, let me tell you this. If you're in a relationship with a man or a woman, and you really want to know the truth from your man or woman, be prepared that you might get a truth that it could shake you up. When your mate tell you a truth that could hurt you, and you say that what you want, if your mate tell you a truth that could hurt you, so the truth gonna affect you some kind of way. You cannot take the truth and just, it don't affect you. The truth gonna affect you. That's just all to it. You want a positive truth that will lift you up. You don't want no truth that's gonna make that throw you off. Because you see, some truths will keep you up all night. Because sometimes if your mate decide to tell you the truth, you're going to turn around and want to break up the relationship. But guess what? You asked for the truth. You said, I want to know the truth. And then the person say, okay, you said that you want to know the truth, right? So here it is. I put it this way. You all remember that scene on Baby Boy. You remember that scene on Baby Boy? You remember when Yvette and Jody, they had this confrontation, they were fussing, right? Remember they had this confrontation. This was the confrontation. He told her, and this is what he said, I'm paraphrasing, he said, he was telling her about, he actually told that he had been with other women. But he said he lied to her because what? He didn't want to hurt her. And he said, that's the truth. Did she take it well? Well, they end up together at the end of the movie, but did she take it well at that point? That's what I'm telling you. And sister, I'm telling you this. If you want to know something about your man, and you got to put in your mind, if you really want, if you got, first of all, do it this way, sister. Ask yourself, do I love this man? Ask yourself this. Do I love this man? You got to ask yourself this. Do I love him? And then you should think about the possibilities possibility of things he could say. Before you talk, ask him a question or say something. Say, okay, if he say this, and you got to play it out in your mind. If he say this, you know, okay. But, they're going to contrast, but or however. But if he say this, how would I take it? So you have to think before you ask a question. You got to look at what I would do if he say this or he say that. And then the same thing too, brother. If you go to your woman, you have to think, okay, I'm going to answer this question. If she say this, you know, okay. If she say this, okay. So you can't just go in there with a blank, just asking a question, because if it come down to the truth, it will shake you up. That's why not only men, but women lie too. Women lie because they don't want to hurt the man or they covering up. Most of the time, all the time when a person lie, is to prevent consequences. That's the main reason for lying, to prevent a consequence. Because some people say, if I lie, I'll protect my butt. I don't want to lose. That's what people think. If I lie, you know, I'm protecting myself and I won't lose. That's what's going on up here. I could tell him or her a lie, and you know, but you see the thing about it, this is how God is. God give a man and a woman what is called discernment. And you know this, my brothers and sisters, you ever notice this? If you're in a relationship with someone, when something inside of you just ain't sitting right, you know something is going on. And it ain't got to be cheating, okay? So it ain't got to be cheating, but you know something is going on with your mate, but you can't quite put your finger on it. That, especially if you have the Spirit of God in you, His Spirit is trying to tell you something. Some people call it intuition. But if you're a follower of God, it ain't intuition. It's discernment from the Spirit of God. That's how a lot of people, especially the Spirit of God, that will keep you out of trouble a lot. By following that Spirit of God, when it whispers to your soul, it's trying to prevent you from something. So I'm telling you, the only way you're going to be able to handle the truth, you know, when your mate tell you the truth, and it could be some hurtful truth, you need the Spirit of the Lord in your call. If your mate tell you the truth, you might want to be resentful. You might want to do something to your mate because he or she share the truth with you. You don't want to get to that point. So be wise. Don't be smart. Be wise when you go to your mate to ask a question. And another thing, if you're trying to find out some truth about your mate indirectly, what do I mean by that? You going through your mate telephone, you going on your computer, you got some surveillance stuff set up in your house when you leave, you got a tracker in the car, you got a tracker on the phone, all that kind of stuff. You know why you doing that? Because it's one or two reasons why you're doing that. It's either you're doing something wrong and your conscience bothering you, but let's say that you're innocent and you're not doing nothing. Let's just say, for the sake of it, you're not doing anything. But you got this thing in you, like Spider-Man used to have. You know when Spider said his spider sense of tingling. Or you ever notice this? The relationship between Superman and Lois Lane. Superman could be flying out there in space, right? Let Lois Lane see a spider and she hollers. Superman gonna know it. He can feel it. Oh, something wrong with Lois. And I'm out here by Jupiter. I'm about to turn around and I'm gonna fly and I'm going to kill that spider before it freaked Lois out. Superman. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. You have to know you have to know your mate. If you have something going on inside of you because you know your mate, nothing new under the sun. When you around a man or a woman and you've been around them for quite a bit of time, that means that you're learning them and you know what to ask him or her, and you know when to ask that person. Another thing when it got to do with some truth, don't ask no truth in your bedroom. Don't go to bed get into no heavy conversation. Your bedroom is for two things. It's for rest and recreation. That's what your bedroom for. Two things. Remember that, my brothers. Your bedroom for only two things. It's for rest and recreation. You do your heavy talk outside of your bedroom. You don't do no controversial and pillow talk per se in your bedroom. That's where a lot of you brothers get messed up at right there. When you vulnerable after you have recreation with your woman. You get vulnerable, just like Samson. You see, when y'all read the Samson story, you think all Delilah was doing to Samson was asking him a question. Nope. Delilah was doing some other stuff other than asking questions, but it's not in the Bible. But we being human, we know that Delilah and Samson had some sex and stuff like that. We know it. She worked on old boy. She worked on old boy to the point where she produced some tears. That's right. She produced some tears, some lying tears. I got a co-worker that I used to work with some years ago. I was in her office. This girl was good. I was in the office watching her talk to her husband on the phone. She was crying in front of me, talking to her husband. Whatever they were talking about, she was crying. She was crying. She was weeping. She was weeping. She got off the phone and she started laughing. And that took me back. I said, is something wrong? She said, she was just laughing, but she had tears. That's just how much she was into it. That's how Delilah got Samson. She dropped those tears on him. And what happened when she dropped those tears on Samson? What did the old boy do? What did he do when Delilah resorted to tears? He got his hair cut, right? He got a free haircut, didn't he? If Cinderella come to me crying, she ain't got no hair to cut. Cinderella will not move me with no tears. I remember the Samson story. And like Forrest Gump say, that's all I got to say about boy yet. But I got to be like Forrest now. I got to get up and get ready to run, Forrest, run. Run, Forrest, run. I love you, my brothers. I love you, my sister. I hope that you got something out of this content tonight. I really, really do. And it's about time for your brother to retire. I love you, brothers. I love you, sister. Peace out.